The Equality Act is a bill that's before Congress right now that would amend the 1964 Civil Rights Act to include things like transgenderism and same-sex orientation. A lot of people think, well, that sounds good, we're just protecting people. Why is that particularly dangerous and dangerous to Christians?
Many of us knew that once the Marriage Act was upheld by the Supreme Court, it had nothing to do with the Constitution, according to Chief Justice Roberts, but 5 lawyers imposing their opinion. Once that happened, that made the Colorado Baker and all the other things happen. Once you do that, then you have to prove you're not discriminating. And you know, they say that we're not scientific because we have doubts about the extent of global warming. Well, how about unscientific when you start saying that you can change your gender? You know, human beings are 2 sexes, and you've either got the chromosomes of a male or the chromosomes of a female, and to deny that is to deny basic reality. And to put people who have what used to be called and should be called gender dysphoria under a protected class, and to say that if you discriminate, if you say no, that you're not a different sex than you were born, that you are discriminating, and we're going to open up all the restrooms and all the other facilities to be in a protected status for this, it's insanity. It's legal insanity.
It seems like, Dr. Land, one of the phenomena that we often see on the left is that they claim that they're only going this far, when what we realize is that they really have an agenda that takes them much farther. We've seen that with same-sex marriage. No. This is not, we're not forcing anything on anyone. We just want people to be able to have rights. Transgender, we're not forcing anything on anyone. Ultimately, I remember the late Charles Krauthammer said, liberals don't care what you do as long as it's mandatory. Ultimately, there is no stopping at just one small group. They want to control everything, and they want to control the Christian reaction to everything, don't they?
They want to control speech. They're acting like fascists on campus and censors. They want conformity to their viewpoint, and they want to ostracize people who disagree with their viewpoint to the level of Klansmen. They want to turn us into the ostracized equivalent of Ku Klux Klansmen. And they want to, they don't believe in diversity of thought. They don't believe in diversity of speech. They want to use the power of the state as a club to enforce their conformity on society.
Let's talk a little bit about the rise of the new left, if you will, the new socialists in America. This used to be sort of a bad word in America, socialism, but why is it now so much more accepted to the point where politicians with a great amount of visibility feel comfortable and even feel it's a benefit to them to declare themselves socialists?
It's the product of this one-sided, brainwashing education system masquerading as an education system. If you look at the polls, you'll see that most of the people who have a favorable opinion towards socialism are young. Socialism never works. You notice that people aren't trying to break down the doors to get into Venezuela. They're not trying to break down the doors to get into Cuba. There was an iron curtain not to keep Westerners out of Eastern Europe, but to keep Eastern Europeans in. The best critique I've ever heard of socialism was given by the incomparable Winston Churchill. He said, the weakness of the capitalist system is that it inequitably distributes the fruits of its system. The weakness of the socialist system is that it equitably distributes the miseries of its system.
Can always count on Sir Winston. Dr. Land, your passionate clarity is always refreshing. Thank you so much for joining us as always.
Always a delight to be with you.